Good day, viewers. Once again, you are welcome to Baromet Maths Easy Tutorials. Today, we are considering completing the square method for solving quadratic equation. Generally, quadratic equation is given by ax squared plus bs plus c equals to 0, where a, b, and c are representing numbers, and x is the variable of the equation, which means s is the letter that we are looking for its value to make the left-hand side the same thing with the right-hand side. Since the highest power of s is 2, it means we'll get 2 of those s values that will satisfy this equation. Before we apply this method, we need to understand the concept of perfect square numbers and perfect square expressions. When a number can be expressed as product of two numbers that are the same, we say that number is perfect square. Example, the number 9 is perfect square because it can be written as 3 multiplied by another 3, product of two the same numbers, which means 9 can finally be written as 3 power 2. Expressions can also be perfect squares. Expressions like 4x squared is perfect square because we have two the same expressions that after multiplying them together, we can get this 4x squared. You can observe that 2x multiplied by itself will give us 4x squared, which means 4x squared is perfect square. And it can be written as 2x all to power 2. Sometimes quadratic equation can obey these principles. When quadratic equation can be expressed as product of two the same expressions, that quadratic expression is called a perfect square. Example, x squared minus 6s plus 9 is perfect square because when you multiply the expression s minus 3 by itself, you will get back the expression x squared minus 6s plus 9. So we can finally express our quadratic expression as x minus 3 power 2. You can observe that when a quadratic expression is perfect square, there's a relationship that exists between the coefficient of x and the constant. That is the number close to s and the constant. What is the relationship? If you take half of the number close to s, half of the number close to s means the number divided by 2. You will have negative of 3. And by the time you square this number, negative 3, it will give you the constant that is added here. So for a quadratic expression to be perfect square, it must satisfy this condition. So suppose you are asked, what must be added to the number x squared plus 8x? What are we going to add? Which constant are we adding to these first two terms to have a perfect square? All you need to do is to pick this number close to s, which is 8, divide it by 2. You have 4. Square this 4. The answer you obtain is the number that should be added. So by the time we square 4, we'll have the answer as 16. So it means the perfect square now will be x plus half of this number, which is our 4, multiplied by another x plus 4. And finally, we have it as s plus the 4 all to power 2. So we are going to apply this concept to solve a quadratic equation using the method of completing the squares. Consider the example. Here we have a quadratic equation and we want to solve this equation using the completing squares method. Now, before solving the problem, we'll check whether it's perfect square. Remember, we learned how to check whether a quadratic expression is perfect square or not. The coefficient of our s here is negative 2, and by the time that we take half of this negative 2, that means divide by 2, we'll get negative 1. What is the square of this negative 1? Negative 1 square will give us positive 1, which is not the same thing with the constant that is here. So it means this quadratic expression is not a perfect square. So we'll now try to find a way of changing it or transforming it to a perfect square form. But first of all, we'll transfer the constant that is here to the other side of the equation. By transferring the constant, you'll be left with x squared minus 2s equals to 35. Don't forget, when a negative number is transferred, it will change to positive. So we'll now think of what to add to this left-hand side to make it a perfect square. The rule said that we'll take half of this number. Half of this number will give us minus 1. So we are adding the square of this number to have a perfect square on this side. So x squared minus 2s, we add minus 1 square to have a perfect square. But since what we have above is an equation, whatsoever we are doing to one side, we have to do same operation to the other side. So the 35 that is here, we need to add negative 1 square. We are adding the same quantity, so our equation will still remain the same. Remember, after adding this term, the perfect square form will now be the variable s, then half of the quantity that is here. Our quantity is negative 2, half of it will give us minus 1. So minus 1 all square, which is the factorized form of this expression that we have. 35, if we simplify negative 1 square, we'll have positive 1. And when we combine 35 and 1, we get 36. So this will give us s minus 1 power 2 equals to 36. Now we are looking for a number that if we square, the answer will be 36. You know, if we square 6, it will give us 36. If we square negative 6, we are going to also have 36. So in that case, it means the number that if we square we have 36 is either positive 6 or negative of 6, which means our x minus 1 now will change to positive or minus root of 36. The square crosses to this side and it changes to root. But don't forget, we are picking either the positive value or negative value, because any of them, if we square it, we'll get positive 36. So our x minus 1 now will be plus or minus 6, because the root of 36 is 6. Our target is to make s alone, so we are transferring any other quantity to the other side and leave s on the other side. So s will now give us positive 1 plus or minus 6. Minus 1 changes to positive here, which means it's either we pick s equal to 1 plus 6 or s to be 1 minus 6. So s will now give us 7 or s will now give us minus 5. That means the two values that when we substitute in this equation will have 0 on this side are s equals to 7 and s equals to minus 5. I believe with this example, we understand how to solve quadratic equation using completing the square method. Please don't forget to share this video, subscribe, and like. See you in the next class.